Welcome to Women Leaders, Secrets to Success. Joining us from Jacksonville, Florida today is Sharon Rowlands. Sharon is the CEO and president of Newfold Digital. Sharon, good morning. Welcome.
Hey, Jessica. Thank you so much for having me on your show.
It's a pleasure to have you. Why don't you tell everybody what you do?
Super. Okay. Well, as you just mentioned, I'm the CEO of Newfold Digital, which is actually just coming up to being a 100-day-old company. We're the merger of two companies, Web.com, based out of here in Jacksonville, and Endurance International, based out of Boston. And we've combined, and our mission in life is to provide digital solutions to small businesses to help them be successful online.
Wow. As a client, because I actually created a couple websites on webs.com, I was interested to talk to you. How long have you been, so I guess you started with webs.com before they merged. How long have you been in this position?
So I moved to Jacksonville just over 2 years ago to become the CEO of Web.com when it became private. And then we did the acquisition of Endurance, and we're now in the process of integrating those businesses. So we're now a $1.4 billion company in this space and have got a lot of ambitions to grow very fast.
Well, what has been the trajectory of your career? How did you get to this point?
Well, it's definitely been a long road. I've been in business for well over 35 years. I started life as a school teacher, but realized that I needed to earn more money. And so really moved into business, and I sort of started in sales, went through the process of increasing promotions, got my first CEO job in the mid 90s, and I'm now on my fourth CEO role.
Wow, that's incredible. So you're clearly successful, and that's what the show's about. So let's talk about that. What has been the best piece of advice you've been given?
I think it would say strategy without execution is hallucination. So, I learned very early on in my career, it's all very well having a great PowerPoint, having a strategy on a piece of paper, but making it happen, executing it is where the real work happens. And so discipline, focus on the customer, and making sure you follow through with your decisions, really that's become a trademark of how I've operated.
Okay. So my next question was, what would you tell your younger self? So that would be the advice you tell your young Sharon, but what mistakes would you tell Sharon to avoid?
Oh, I would definitely, look, if I could go back in time, I would say have more confidence in yourself. There was a period in my life early on in my career where I had a little bit of that imposter syndrome. I was sort of feeling I'm going to wake up any day and somebody's going to find out that I'm not as good as they think I am. And later in life, as I became much more experienced, I realized that looking back, I should have been more confident. I should have believed in myself more. And frankly, earlier on, I think I could have, got ahead faster if I sort of heeded that advice.
Do you think that is more characteristic of women than men? Do you think women fall to that imposter syndrome more than men do?
Jessica, I definitely think they do. I think a woman will typically look at a job description and say, I can do all these things except for one, so I'm not good enough for it. I think a guy looks at it and says, oh, I can do that one thing. This is mine. Now, obviously, I'm generalizing here, but yeah. I mentor a lot of young women, and typically that's the common issue.
It's interesting that you say that, because a recent guest of mine said that one thing. She wasn't going to go after a job because she filled out 17 of 18 boxes and she wasn't going to go for it. So that's interesting that you bring that up as well. So I know that you have 2 sons and a daughter. Do you find that you give each of them different pieces of advice as boys and girls growing up?
No, I don't think I've distinguished between their sexes. I've always encouraged them, but they sort of categorized into two very different types of people. My oldest son and daughter were both passionate about the theater. And so I encouraged them to pursue that, pursue their dreams, go to school for musical theater and theater, even though I knew it was going to be a tough road for them. And it certainly has been a tough road. My youngest son, who actually just graduated yesterday at Emory, doesn't want to go into the theater and he wants to go into business. And so, I'm encouraging him to take a different route. And I actually feel, having been in business myself, I'm going to be able to maybe add a bit more value to his future than I were to Amy and Ben in the theater.
That makes sense. Well, congratulations to your son on graduating. That's super exciting. The last question is, what women in this world do you admire and why?
Oh, goodness gracious. I admire all women because wherever I go, whether it's somebody who is a really successful executive or somebody that's working to make the world a better place in charity or something, or frankly, a woman raising a family, I believe that women have a particular road that they go down in having to juggle and make a lot of sacrifices. So, I'm just passionate about the road that women go down. And it's been a passion of mine all the way through my career to do what I can to help facilitate that journey. Now, obviously, there's amazing names that I adore, like Michelle Obama, but I try not to focus on the ones that have got there at the end, but on the broader population.
Well, thank you, Sharon. I appreciate you spending time with us this morning, and congratulations to Newfold Digital and making 100 days and your new enterprise. I wish you the best of luck with it.
Well, thank you so much, Jessica. I appreciate your interest in talking to me and in Newfold. Watch this space. We're going to be big.
We will do that. So thank you very much. If you'd like to learn more about Sharon and her incredible work with Newfold Digital, you can go to iwannabuzz.com. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.